President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, he held a meeting with Minister of Justice Councillor Omar Marwan on Thursday. During the meeting, the president followed up on the most prominent files developing judicial system nationwide regarding upgrading courts, headquarters in all governorates, in addition to developing their technical system. The president gave his directives to boost using the latest technology in the system of court and judicial measures, in addition to providing necessary financial resources and to speed up and control judicial procedures to offer upgraded services for the citizens. The head of state further instructed to mechanize all branches of notary and registration offices to develop the mechanisms of work and enhance the process of sorting and training the best human staff. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi hailed on Thursday the BRICS announcement of inviting Egypt to join its membership as of January 2024. In a statement, presidential statement by His Excellency the Head of State, he expressed appreciation of confidence of all BRICS countries with whom we all have close relations. President al-Sisi added that Egypt looks forward to cooperate and coordinate with BRICS during the coming period, as well as with the invited countries to achieve goals of the bloc towards strengthening economic cooperation. The head of state also asserted that such efforts are the raise of voice of countries of South regarding various development issues and challenges in a way that supports rights and interests developing countries. And Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli participated in BRICS summit on behalf of President al-Sisi, delivering Egypt's speech in a high-level dialogue session on Africa's cooperation with the BRICS. Madbouli said Egypt is looking forward to be active in effective members of the BRICS in enhancing cooperation with other members of various domains at the bilateral and multilateral levels. He further said Egypt welcomes all initiatives and projects aimed at achieving joint interests in addition to building sustainable partnership. The Prime Minister referred to Egypt's keenness to enhance its ties with the BRICS group. During the past few years, Premier Madbouli said Egypt calls for adopting peaceful and diplomatic policies in solving international crises. He hailed the steps by BRICS to expand its members, saying the move would contribute in making the bloc more effective and capable to express its visions at the international level. The Prime Minister reviewed Egypt's vision in all domains in regard to the frameworks of cooperation between developing nations and BRICS in a coming stage, which calls for intensifying regional and international efforts and coordination to confront the food crisis and its repercussions through. In this regard, Madbouli stressed that efforts should be made to afford food needs for developing countries, expressing Egypt's readiness to host the International Center for Storing Grains. He expressed gratitude for South African President Cyril Ramaphosa for hosting the session in this unprecedented circumstances in which the world was passing through the resultant unprecedented complications which have negative impacts on developing nations' economies. And on the sidelines of the summit, Premier Madbouli held talks with a number of international firms' representatives. The BRICS group of nations has decided to invite 6 countries: Argentina, Egypt, Iran, Ethiopia, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, to become new members of the bloc. The debate over expanding the BRICS bloc, comprising Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, has topped the agenda at the 3-day summit in Johannesburg.
BRICS leaders announced on Thursday the historic admission of 6 new countries from next year as the club seeks to reshape the Western-led global order and expand its geopolitical influence. The BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa agreed at their annual summit to make Argentina, Ethiopia, Iran, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and the United Arab Emirates full members from January the 1st. Saudi Arabia's foreign minister said the kingdom appreciated the invitation by BRICS to join the group group and would study the details before the proposed January 1st joining date and take the appropriate decision. Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed hailed what he called a great moment for his country, the second most populous in Africa. In Iran, senior presidential advisor Mohammad Jamshidi described the move as a historic development and a strategic success for Tehran's foreign policy. Egypt and the United Arab Emirates also broadcast the readiness to work with the group that represents billions of people on 4 continents and a quarter of the world's health. Calls to enlarge the BRICS dominated its annual summit in Johannesburg and exposed divisions over the rules for entry. It paves the way for future expansion of a desperate group of big and small economies that encompasses both the world's largest democracy and its largest authoritarian state. Nearly 2 dozen countries had formally applied to join, and about the same number have expressed interest from non-Western nations across the so-called Global South. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said at the BRICS summit that the United States was seeking not just to punish Russia, but to quash any dissent against its policies in the international arena. Russian President Vladimir Putin, who is the subject of an international arrest warrant, was the only leader not present in Johannesburg and addressed the summit via video link. Some 50 world leaders attended the summit, underscoring what BRICS leaders say is the attractiveness of its message and growing relevance on the world stage.
Humat al-Watan Party, headed by General Galal Haridi, welcomed Egypt joining BRICS, which is one of the world's most important economic blocs that aim at using national currencies in trade or establishing new currency. The party asserted in a statement that joining the BRICS is an indication for success of Egypt's national economy in era of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, thanks to new economic policies which led to an improvement in performance indexes.